Welcome to the Mad Scientist Club. My name is Miss Erin. Not only is March the start of spring, but it's also STEM month. To celebrate this month, we're going to make Kirigami water blossoms. What is Kirigami? Well, Kirigami is a variation of origami that includes the cutting of the paper rather than solely folding the paper as it is in the case with origami. So how will we make these paper flowers bloom? Well, let's find out. The first thing we're going to do is to fold our Kirigami flower. I have provided you each with a template on our Kirigami flower, and it looks like this. There's an inner bloom and an outer bloom, and then the circle here. So if you want, you can use my template. You can make your own template, of course. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to first want to color your flowers. It's best to use lightweight paper, such as copy paper or origami paper. Thick cardstock is just not going to work for this experiment. You may try it as part of your experiment. Go ahead. But again, lighter paper will work better. And then what you're going to do is after you've colored them, you're going to cut them out, and then you're going to follow the prompts and fold your flowers. And I'll show you how to do that next step.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to make these. These are the Kirigami flowers. And here. And we'll do our science experiment after we've cut them out. Now, before I showed you the colored pictures that we have had here, and we're going to work on just cutting out the outline of each of them here, and then we'll work on that together. Okay. And now we have our templates here that have been colored, and we're going to work on folding them together. So the first step here is we're actually going to fold them in half. We're going to fold them this way. Okay, so this is what you have here. Okay, and then you're going to work on folding inside and then the other side. And when I flip this around, you'll see the black part. And then what you're going to do, this is the under flower, the larger blossom. And you can actually cut, this is the Kirigami part. This is where you actually cut the paper. And then you actually cut off this black part too. So this is what you're left with. You're left with this outer part here, just like this. You'll see that some of the templates are not as perfect, and you can go back through and fix that if you wish. And then we're going to work on the next one. So this is also this, you're going to fold it the same way you did the other one. You're going to fold it in half. Try to get it right on the line. Okay, and then you're going to fold like this. Fold again. And then you're left like this, and then you're going to cut the black part off again. Okay, and then when you unfold it, you will see the inner blossom part to your flower. There we are. And now you'll see that the dotted lines are here, and this is where you're going to actually do some folding, more folding. So you're going to actually fold in the little petal of each flower. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just fold it in, and you'll see that all of the little pieces overlap each other. Okay. All right, and then with this other one, you're going to do the same thing, except see, you're going to fold where the dotted line is here. See, and then, you know, we're going to fix this piece because it's not quite right. Help us fold better if it's cut right. So we're going to fold in, fold in, fold in, fold in, Fold in. See, I'm ripping a little bit to make it perfect, but here you go. All right. So now we have two separate pieces. What we want to do is actually combine them all. We are going to use a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of glue. Tiny bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of Elmer's glue. This happens to be glitter glue. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit on my blossom here. And we're going to try to get it to we're just going to use a little bit of glue. We don't need a lot. And we're going to combine the two pieces together. Okay. And then also, remember we had cut out that little small circle part? We're going to do that as well. We're going to put a little bit on the inside. And now it's important to remember to let it dry. We need to make sure it dries completely before we do our next step. Once it's dried, then you can fold the pieces back together, because to do the next experiment, you're going to want a closed flower blossom. The next part of our experiment, you're going to need a lasagna pan or any kind of clear pan that is filled with halfway through with water. So you're going to want to see if you can make your flowers that we have again folded up nice and neatly all together again. We're going to keep them all together. It's important to remember that our inside blossoms should be folded separately. Don't overlap them in that respect. Just the outer inside first and then the outer on the outside. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to watch and see if our flowers bloom.
Well, how did that work for you? Did your paper flowers bloom? Well, why did they bloom? Well, let's first look at what paper is made from. Do you know what paper is actually made from? Well, it's made from trees, more specifically wood pulp, that is ground up and then dried. Once the dry fibers come in contact with water, the paper swells as it absorbs the water, and it magically takes away those paper folds we put in the paper. Now, if you love your paper flowers, don't be alarmed. You can take them out, make sure they're completely dry again, refold them, and try again and again. So we hope you enjoyed making the Kirigami water blossoms. So stay happy and healthy and enjoy the rest of STEAM Month.